So what do you do when you are really vulnerable and open with someone and you basically put your heart on the line to somebody and tell them a really deep and meaningful truth to you, whether that's how you feel about them, how you feel about the relationship, whatever's bothering you, you kind of open your heart and you tell them, and you don't get the response that you anticipated. So for example, you either get, that's great that you shared that with me, but I don't feel the same way, or I don't want to continue this relationship, this friendship, this situation anymore. Or you can just get silence. Okay, what do you do with that? Because a lot of people, first and foremost, don't even have the strength of character to ever put themselves out there. But then you have this other group of people who've put themselves out there and inevitably faced that reaction, because at some point in our lives that will happen. And they have then decided that the mantle that they will carry for the rest of their lives is, now I have been rejected. Now I'm never putting myself out there again. I'm going to be super guarded, blah, blah, blah. But one thing that I think is really important to understand is that when you put your heart on the line, that is the most beautiful and human and strong thing that you can do. To tell somebody really how you feel from the heart. That is exercising incredible strength. But the whole purpose and the whole thing we teach ourselves when we say you need to keep putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, what people are doing is they're misinterpreting what the exercise is. Being vulnerable is you tapping into your emotional space and speaking your authenticity. That's you connecting with your emotions instead of running away from them, freezing them, avoiding them, burying them, okay? That's the exercise for you to learn to tap into your emotional space even when it feels uncomfortable and express it, because that is your truth. Second of all, what happens from doing that is you gain clarity. That is the exercise. Clarity can come from silence. Clarity can come from somebody saying they're not interested in you, okay? The end goal isn't that you only put yourself out there when there's a 100% chance you're going to get it back. That's not how life works. The clarity comes when you put yourself out there, whether it's for a job or a person or a big move to another country or putting yourself out there on the stage, whatever the hell it is. There is always a chance that there will be someone that turns around and says, sorry, that's not for me, or sorry, this job isn't for you, or sorry, when you're not what we're looking for. Because that's the whole point of being vulnerable, that there is a chance that it might not work out. You have to take that risk. But even somebody deciding to not respond to you or respond to you in a way you didn't like, it is clarity. And that's perfectly okay that somebody said that's not for them or they chose to ignore you. Painful as it is, and the way that you interpret it as rejection, it's actually not rejection. It's just clarity. It's not about you. People are entitled to say, I don't feel the same way, or this job isn't for you, or you're not what we're looking for. That is part of human life. And also the bit after that is the bit that people don't talk about a lot, which is that it is perfectly okay for you to be upset. It's perfectly okay for you to feel rejected, even though you weren't rejected. You were just redirected. It just wasn't for you. Okay? And that process of sitting with the emotions, those tender emotions after you've kind of put yourself out there and it's not gone the way you want, sitting with those emotions, processing them in a healthy way is really, really critical to the whole experience, because you need to sit with them. You need to feel that tenderness and say, okay, that's not what I wanted. You need to take time to reflect on it and say, I'm going to process these human emotions of disappointment, and I'm then going to take from it positive things to move forward. But a lot of times on social media, it skips that part. So it basically says, okay, they rejected you, you do your fucking hair flick, and you're like, right, bitches, I'm fine, and like, I'm all powerful and whatever, and revenge plots and whatever the hell stupid people tell you on social media to do, and you'll just get over it, boo, and they weren't for you, next. Like, that bit in the middle is lengthy, okay? That bit of feeling hurt is normal. When you try and skip it and you try and say, nah, I'm just going to be cool, I'm just going to do revenge plot, I'm just going to be resentful about it, or I'm just going to pretend that I'm higher than that, even though I haven't processed these deep emotions, you're not doing service to your own growth, because essentially you'll loop back into this pattern again or it will come up again, or you will just decide to close yourself off and say, the emotions were intense, I don't want to deal with them, so now I'm just going to, again, live by this mantle. I'm guarded, everybody's a dickhead, everyone's out to get me. No. It's a normal human process, and it's really important that you sit with those feelings and process them for as long as it takes, which is unique to you, because you will come out the other side where you can be reflective, and you can only be reflective on it when those really tender emotions have settled down. When you're reflective, you can then say, actually, it wasn't a rejection, it was a redirection, and I really liked that person and they didn't like me. That's absolutely fine. I've learned that I'm so strong. I stuck by my authentic self, and I can move forward without being ashamed. I said my piece, I said my truth, I shot my shot. It wasn't mine to win or mine to get or whatever. That is the healthy space to then move forward. But all this bullshit of trying to skip past things and all this bullshit of not accepting that really these things happen frequently in our lives, and you have to process them like an adult. Like, a lot of people have these really immature ways of dealing with these things that happen in their lives because their ego or their emotions just can't take the fact that sometimes things don't work out. Don't be one of those people that just decides that you're just going to be shut off for the rest of your life, because being vulnerable and open is the most exquisite human emotion. It's beautiful, it's tender, it's terrifying, but it's part of being human. And the more that you can be at peace with being vulnerable, regardless of the outcome, the stronger you're going to be as a human being, because you can't live your life avoiding your emotions forever. You will have such a limited human experience if you do that. So I just wanted to do this video to remind you guys, it is a messy, sticky, upsetting, tender process, but putting yourself out there is one of the most important things you can do in your life. And being too scared to do it, to me, is like the biggest shame. Like, how disappointing, how sad. Like, that makes me really sad that people just don't want to do that. So this was my little reminder. It happens to us all. Take the time, process it, and realize that it's fine. It's all for a higher purpose, and that tenderness is part of your life journey. So embrace it instead of running away from it.